Welcome, 5th grade mathematicians, to this lesson on one-digit multiplication. Today's objective is to be able to complete an area model and standard algorithm for one-digit multiplication. So we're going to focus on two things here. Area model. Area model is basically breaking it up into a box and showing the partial products of a multiplication problem. And the standard algorithm, which for us who are over the age of 30, we would call the old-fashioned way of doing things. The goal of everything we do in math, as always, is to make sure that we can do the standard algorithm, but we also have to know why numbers move the way they do, which is why we're showing you the area model. So the first problem I wanted to do was 3 times 254. Now with multiplication, remember, when you're multiplying two numbers together, these numbers are known as factors. The answer to a multiplication problem is known as the product. So the first thing you do here is you draw the area model. There are 3 digits in 254. So I'm going to draw a box, kind of like this, and break it up into 3, because each box is going to represent one place value. I'm going to put this 3 right here outside the box on the left side. Now the top of these boxes is where the 254 goes, but we're not going to write 254. We're going to break it up based off of its place value. So this 4, that's really 4 ones. So you write 4 ones right there. This 5, it's not a 5, it's 5 tens, otherwise known as 50. So you write a 50 there. This 2 is in the hundreds place. That represents 200s, which is why you write 200 there. And if you do this right when you set up your area model, if you add these 3 numbers together, 200 plus 50 plus 4, it should equal 254, which is what your original factor was. Now you do the multiplication. 3 times 200, 3 times 2 is 6, with 2 zeros, so you get 600 in that box. 3 times 50 is 3 times 5, which is 15, and that 0 goes to the end, which is 150. And then 3 times 4 is 12, and that's how you get each box. 200 times 3 is 600, 50 times 3 is 150, 4 times 3 is 12. The last step for the area model with one digit is taking the 3 numbers that you just came up with and adding them together. So you take 600, 150, and 12, and you should get 762 for an answer. And when you're doing problems on paper, I always box my answers so that way I know where everything is. Now, if we did our work correctly in the area model, the standard algorithm, the old-fashioned way for doing math, we should get this same answer. So as I switch from one side to the other like magic, bam, here I am. So the standard algorithm, you would write 254 times 3. 3 times 4 is 12. You put the 2 down here, and you bring up the 1, so it looks like 12. 1, 10, 2 ones. 5 times 3 is 15, plus 1 is 16. Carry the 1, so you have 100. 2 times 3 is 6. Add 1 here is 7. Presto magico! They equal, and everybody is super happy. And this is how you do one-digit multiplication with the area model and the standard algorithm. We will look at one more problem together just as soon as I change and magic happens. Totally tubular, dudes. Math is so rad, I put on my cool 60s outfit to do this next problem. So we've gone from 3 digits by 1 digit to a 4 by 1 digit problem. And it's the same objective, being able to use the area model and the standard algorithm to complete a product. Remember, product is the answer to a multiplication problem. So our first factor is 2,365. So the same thing. Now we draw our bar. But because there's 4 digits in this number, I need to make 4 boxes. And again, spread them out as evenly as you can. It doesn't have to be perfect. Our 4 goes here, because that's the one factor we're multiplying by. We have 5 ones, so I'm going to put a 5 there. We have 6 tens, so that means 6 tens equals 60. We have 3 hundreds, and then 2 thousands, which means, again, if you add all those numbers up, it's going to come out to 2,365. If it doesn't, then something happened when you were doing the place value, or maybe when you were adding the numbers up. So 4 times 2 is 8, and then we have 3 zeros at the end, so we have 8,000 there. 4 times 2,000 is 8,000. 3 times 4 is 12, and then we add 2 zeros there, because we have 2 zeros at the end. 6 times 4 is 24. We take a 0 there. And then 4 times 5 is 20. We then, last step, take all 4 of those numbers and we add them together. We have 8,000, 1,200, 240, and 20. Add them up, and our answer is 9,460. If I had hair, it would be standing on its head for how awesome that was. Now, standard algorithm, the old way of doing things, still the best way to do things. Again, our goal for doing it. Same thing. We take our number, 2,365, and we multiply it by 4. 4 times 5 is 20, so a 0 goes here. We bring the 2 up to the tens place because we have 2 tens. 4 times 6 is 24, plus 2 is 26. 4 times 3 is 12, plus 2 is 14. Carry the 1. 2 times 4 is 8, plus 1 is 9. Ho, ho, it's magic, you know. And even this cool eraser is amazed by how easy that was. So, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, hippies and 5th graders, this is our math objective for today. Being able to complete a 1-digit area model and standard algorithm problem for multiplication. Let's review. Area model, partial products, standard algorithm. We have our 2 factors that eventually give us the answer, which is known as a product. Factors and product. Thank you for joining this math lesson. And again, I'm Mr. Lures, the hippest math teacher you'll know. And again, the more you learn, the more you know. Have a great afternoon.